Join me as I dive deep into the dark side of the pharmaceutical industry to see if I can uncover the truth behind its alleged demonic practices. Is the pharmaceutical industry really demonic? This is a question that's been on my mind lately, and I'm sure it's on yours too, especially when you hear all the criticism and controversy surrounding this massive industry. With so many conflicting opinions out there, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. But today, I'm going to take a closer look at the pharmaceutical industry to see if it really deserves its bad reputation. One of the biggest criticisms of the pharmaceutical industry is the high cost of prescription medications. Many people feel that these companies are more concerned with making a profit than with helping people. And it's true, some medications can be incredibly expensive, putting a huge burden on patients and their families. The profit motive is also a common target for criticism, with some arguing that pharmaceutical companies prioritize their bottom line over people's health. There are also allegations of harmful practices, such as pushing opioid painkillers that can lead to addiction. These are serious concerns that deserve attention. The industry has also been accused of engaging in deceptive marketing and pushing unnecessary medications. For example, some companies have been caught promoting their products for uses that aren't approved by regulators. This can lead to patients taking medications that they don't really need, which can cause more harm than good. Another criticism is that pharmaceutical companies often have too much influence over medical research and education. When companies have a vested interest in promoting certain treatments or medications, it can be difficult to get unbiased information. Let's take a step back and look at how the pharmaceutical industry actually works. Developing new medications is a long and expensive process that involves a lot of risk. Pharmaceutical companies invest huge amounts of money in research and development, and it can take years or even decades for a new medication to make it to market. The industry is regulated by government agencies like the FDA, which helps ensure that medications are safe and effective. But despite these regulations, there's still a delicate balance between profit and patient care. Companies need to make money to stay in business, but they also have a responsibility to help people. The development process itself is complex, involving many different stakeholders and a lot of trial and error. Companies must navigate a complex web of regulations and guidelines to get their products approved. Once a medication is on the market, it's closely monitored for safety and effectiveness. This is an ongoing process that requires a lot of resources and expertise. There are also many examples of pharmaceutical companies going above and beyond to help patients. For instance, some companies offer patient assistance programs that help people get the medications they need at a lower cost. Others are working on innovative treatments for diseases that have been difficult to treat in the past. These are just a few examples of the many positive things that pharmaceutical companies are doing. One notable example that highlights both the positive and negative aspects of the industry is the case of insulin. Insulin is a life-saving medication that's been around for decades, but it's also become incredibly expensive. This has led to a lot of criticism of pharmaceutical companies, particularly those that manufacture insulin. However, it's also worth noting that these companies have invested heavily in research and development, and have worked to improve the production process and develop new formulations. In recent years, there have been several high-profile cases of pharmaceutical companies being criticized for their pricing practices. These cases have led to calls for greater transparency and regulation. They've also highlighted the need for a more nuanced conversation about the role of pharmaceutical companies in our healthcare system. So, is the pharmaceutical industry really demonic? Based on what I've discussed today, I think it's clear that the industry has its flaws, but it's also capable of doing a lot of good. The industry plays a crucial role in developing new treatments and medications that can save lives. While there are certainly problems that need to be addressed, I don't think it's fair to label the entire industry as demonic. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the pharmaceutical industry? Share your opinions and let's keep the conversation going. If you're interested in learning more about healthcare topics, check out my other video on the hidden dangers of the healthcare system for some deeper insights.